In the early days of the pandemic, our next guest predicted which tactics would be best to maintain productivity and morale in the workplace. 8 months later, a U.S. Army publication took her exact words in a story they published about leading during crisis. She is known for predicting blind spots in a company, specifically as it relates to employees and teams. Let's welcome Denise Graziano from Graziano Associates.
Thank you, Christina.
It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, you have this fabulous backstory. You're in your 20s, kind of starting your first job, and you realize that you have a knack for finding solutions to complex problems. Tell us about that.
I think that complex problems are always best solved with the strengths of many people. So I was 25, and the president of the company I worked for came to me and he said, I want to have a launch party for our new division. Let's have it in the new venue. Let's invite all the important people in our industry here in New York City, and we're going to do it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So the good news is I had the ear of the president when I was 25. The bad news is I wasn't an event planner. I was in marketing. So I put together the resources that I thought were best, catering, logistics, and entertainment. And that night I remember people coming up to me saying, you know, this is really great. How long have you been doing this? And I hadn't.
2 weeks.
So I thought, you know, this is really the power of strong teams. And that was the first time professionally that I realized that.
So now you've been doing this for 30 years. You've been working with teams. But one thing that you're a big proponent of is predictive data and analytics. Can you explain that to us and why that's so important?
Yes, you know, predictive data and analytics are only valuable if they're actionable. So whenever I'm in front of a leadership audience of leaders, I always ask them the question, how many of you use customer data to help guide your business decisions? Invariably, 90% of the hands go up. But then I ask a follow-up question, how many of you use people data about your employees to guide your business decisions? Only about 20 to 25% of the hands go up. And normally there are 3 reasons. One is that they don't realize there's a correlation between the people data and that there are hard metrics to do that, to guide business decisions. Secondly, they have tried data, but it's been so voluminous and overwhelming that they haven't been able to act upon it and they feel like they've wasted their money. Third is they truthfully haven't been speaking with the right advisors who know what's capable in today's next level. So I was working with the chief marketing officer of a global brand, looking at the data of his team because there were problems and he was about to let someone go because they were underperforming. So we looked at the data together and he goes, you know, this is why we need to make some changes with these 2 people and why we could be doing things differently. So he had seen things in a new way by seeing the data. But then he said something I hear a lot. He goes, I got more in 75 minutes with you looking at this data than I have in weeks worth of examining this team. That's the power of actionable data.
Wow. That's really, really, and you said how many? Only 20% of people are really looking at this?
Yeah.
So it's really important. Now, you said something a year ago when COVID was first starting that is proving true now. Again, you're really good at predicting this, but let's talk about proximity bias and what we're headed to and what your prediction is on that.
Proximity bias is something I began talking about a year ago because I saw, you know, eventually we were going back to the workplace. And this is something that's going to happen because you have people who are in the office, but still people who are remote. There's a hybrid team. You've got 5 people in the room, 5 people on a Zoom. The Zoom meeting breaks up, but then the people in the office can still talk over coffee, over lunch, over the cubicle wall. And that's when decisions get made. Maybe they get preferential assignments. Maybe they get a promotion. And it won't be malicious, it won't be intentional, but it's going to happen because there's going to be pressure to produce. So the people who are left out, the ones that are home, are going to feel disenfranchised and feel like, well, is my value not needed on this team anymore? And no company can afford to drive good people away, not now.
Not now, absolutely. Right. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Denise. You just really enlightened us a lot about teams. It's so important to be a strong leader and have great teams. So thank you for joining us today. Denise's talent management and communication strategies help you build, retain, and motivate dream teams that keep customers coming back. For more information, visit her at GrazianoAssociates.com and make sure you check out Denise's book, Talent is a Team Sport, available on Amazon. Thanks, Denise.